welcome back to It's All About Him. Today's topic will actually be the ending of the relationship series, and this topic is called Not Tonight. So what that means is when we're in a marital context and you're actually telling your spouse that you ain't getting none. Let's be real. You ain't getting none. That is out of order. It's out of place. You should never use sex as a tool against your spouse. That should never be, because that's a form of manipulation. When you're in a marriage, there should be a constant dying to yourself. Selfishness should be dying, manipulation, all the things that you tend to use. This is your husband. This is your wife. Kids are the ones that manipulate to try to get their way. How do you use sex as a tool against the person that God has given you? That's out of order. If God, when he said to Adam, it is not good for you to be alone, so I'm going to give you a helper that will be suitable for you. Adam didn't recognize that he needed someone. God was the one who said, I'm going to give you this person. So how is it that God has blessed you with a mate, but the very thing he gave, the very thing that he called good, the very thing in other scriptures that he mentioned that for you not to withhold that from your spouse, that you're going to withhold that from your spouse, that is out of order. That is out of order. That is out of order. That should never be. That should never be. There should never be a point. Yes, there will be times that, say you have a headache, different things like that. We're not talking about that. We're not saying if you're like dead exhausted and all those things. And even so, both of you should be in agreement as it pertains to sex. The Bible talks about that. The Bible says that the wife's body isn't hers, but it's her husband. The husband's body isn't his, but it's his wife. So being that that's the case, I don't have any right to tell you, you ain't getting none. He doesn't have a right to say to me, you ain't getting none. What is that? If this is who I'm with, if this is the person I'm claiming that I love, how am I treating them like that? How is that okay? How is that okay? So I'm going to say, if that's something that you're doing, that you need to put a stop to it. Because what you won't do, hello somebody, what you won't do, trust me, somebody else will do. So you don't want, and not saying, oh, so that's going to give them a right to cheat on me. No, but why are you opening the door for that? That's what that's doing. It's opening a door for other people to now come in their face, because you're like, mind you, I'm in a covenant with you and you telling me the thing that I should be able to receive in covenant, you ain't giving me none because you upset. What is that? What is that? So now another man start being all up in my face. That's opening up a door, because he's now giving me something that my husband ain't giving me. That shouldn't be the case. Now here comes a woman all up in your husband's face and she's giving him what you... That should not be the case. Why should somebody else be able to tell me, oh my gosh, you're gorgeous, you're this, you're that. Oh, and my husband ain't doing that. And your wife ain't doing that. There are already, the enemy is already at work. He hates marriages. He hates everything that God stands for. So being that you already have spiritual forces against and coming against your marriage, you have other people who don't even respect marriage. So you have all these different things coming at you, and you're going to help the situation by talking about you ain't getting none? When God said that the only time that you should end up not having sex with your mate is only for the purpose that both of you agree for a brief period of time. Only for a brief period of time. And after that, both of you need to come back together again, so that the enemy won't tempt you. So that the enemy won't tempt you with all these different people coming at you. I'm begging you by the mercies of God, if this is something that you've been saying to your spouse, you need to put a stop to it. If your marriage really matters to you, if your relationship really matters to you, then you cannot continue the way that you're continuing. Because after a while, your marriage will probably sizzle out. Begin to see your spouse the way God sees them. Begin to do that. I will say also, as it pertains to, because you know what? Yes, our spouses could get on our last nerves. They could do things to hurt us. It's called human nature. But when somebody loves you, they should never intentionally set out to hurt you, just like how you should not intentionally set out to hurt them. So the scripture that I'll say that you should use to help you when you have to deal with your spouse is 1 Corinthians 13, where you hear the love chapter. But I'll say really and truly try to flesh that out. It says love is patient, love is kind, love is this, love is that. I'll say exchange the word love for your name. Camille is patient. Camille is kind. And something that I do at times, and my niece can attest to it, because I'm the one that at times I need to hear myself with certain things. I'll be talking out loud because I need my brain and my spirit to get what I don't want to do. So at times I'm like, my soul says yes, Jesus. My soul says yes, because I need me to get it. So if you need to scream and say, Tamara is patient. Tamara is patient. Tamara is patient. Travis is kind. You have to do whatever is necessary so that when you come in contact with your spouse, that you can display true love to them. So don't you dare use sex as a tool against your spouse. That is your spouse. That is your spouse. It's not a girlfriend. It's not a boyfriend. It's not a chick off the street. It's not a dude off the street. This is the person that you've pledged your life to be with. Don't be, again, I've mentioned, being that there are forces in the spiritual realm that is after marriages, and there's also folks who don't care less about your marriage. You need to make sure that you secure your marriage at all costs. If this is something that matters to you, you need to rid yourself of selfishness, pride, and all those things. And your spouse should be doing the same thing. But do whatever is necessary to make sure that your relationships stay intact. So again, if you're using sex as a tool to get what you want from your spouse, you need to stop it. It is not of God, and it's manipulation. And again, that's what children do. We're no longer children, we're grown. So being that we're grown, we need to step it up. So I don't know how this probably hit, but I pray that it minister, because you know what? My heart is for marriages. My heart is to see relationships thrive. So if you want your relationship to thrive, you have to do whatever is necessary, whatever it takes in order to have the relationship and the marriage that you desire. So I pray that this bless you. Thanks for watching. God bless you.